Now, don't let the title of my TED Talk, Marist Talk, fool you. I know it kind of sounds overrated. Cheesy, maybe, a little cliche perhaps, but worth your time, absolutely. You see, a lot of people say that right now is the worst time to be alive, and you know, I don't blame them. Nationalism and neo-Nazis are making a comeback. College costs as much as a house. The US government is being fueled by partisan division. And the UN says that we have 20 years left to live, which is great because I was told that my student loans will be paid off in 30 years. Thank you. The generation right before us who gave us such amazing things such as Facebook, a love for veganism, and an addiction to coffee also instilled with us a fear of the real world. You see, to them, college was the peak of life, of their experience. Drinking, friends, partying, and having only responsibility for class just seemed to be the life for them. Then the real world was a bunch of harsh realities and a bunch of unreal rents. But is that supposed to be the light at our end of the tunnel? I doubt it. I think not, because we're better, we are different. You see, we're Generation Z. We are the last batch of kids born in the 20th century. 100 years of knowledge, mistakes, culture, humanity is ingrained in our DNA. No time in human history has so much happened in the course of 100 years. Just think about it. 1900 saw top hats, horse and buggies, and the last samurai in Japan. And then 1999 saw hoodies, space shuttles, and the first Macintosh computer. You see, we have 100 years of knowledge to fix the mistakes that our parents gave onto us. Besides the last 100 years, the years we have already experienced has shaped us into resilient, strong-minded individuals. We are the first generation not to know a world without 9/11. The war of terror has just been a factor of our lives. 2008 saw the worst economic crisis this country has seen since the Great Depression. I know my dad lost his job and my house was put up for sale. Either you can relate with me or you know somebody who can. Sandy Hook, Parkland, San Bernardino, Orlando, Las Vegas. Gun violence has moved from the battlefield into our schools, our parks, and our concerts. But this doesn't stop us from still going out and living our life. Striving for careers, striving for day-to-day normalcy. Some would call it empathy, but make no mistake, it's bravery. It's bravery among our generation. It's been the underlying theme of our adolescence. You see, right now it's the genesis of change. We are hundreds of bright-minded individuals converging in one place, one school, bouncing ideas off of one another. College is more than just 4 local bars and an Applebee's. It's an oasis of innovation, a church of inspiration. You see, and we just so happen to be the bright, young, fruitful minds of this modern day renaissance. Furthermore, we are on the forefront of a digital revolution, and we're children of the internet. But the best part about the internet is that it's still in its adolescence, which provides us with 2 excellent opportunities: potential and freedom. First, potential. 100 years ago, people looked at Charlie Chaplin and said this was the best that motion picture cameras could do. This was the climax of the cinema experience. A 50-minute black and white silent film of a guy tripping over a bench. But look at movies today. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry that can move mountains. Just look at amazing pictures like Interstellar. The internet is still in the Charlie Chaplin stage right now. Imagine what it will look like in the interstellar phase. And the best part is, we get to take it there. Also, freedom. Think of the variety of options, the size of the internet and its services that we're allowed to use. As of right now, you can read any Shakespeare play. You can become a master at any topic because of Wikipedia. Any video is at your fingertips because of YouTube. Any TV show, movie, you have Hulu, Netflix. Think of Google. Google pairs you up with billions of websites out there. Amazon, you can buy a small plastic piece of an Italian toilet that's only sold in Sweden, or you can buy a standard flat screen TV, all on one website. We take these services, take advantage of these services today. I believe that someday my kids might ask me, Dad, what was it like to have all those videos, all those movies, and all those shows at your fingertips with such ease. I feel this time of convenience, it's only an era, and I feel it might fade away soon. So please, use this time period wisely. Use these resources to your advantage. And I feel like it's already started. Just take a look at the Me Too movement. The Me Too movement lets anybody with Wi-Fi be an activist against a system of sexual harassment that has long been in place. The internet educates us, making us more aware of the world around us and listening to several voices. But as the internet does provide voices, sometimes it gives voices that we don't want to hear. Now, I know it sounds a little bit odd, but I believe that the election of our current president might have been one of the best things for our generation, because it stimulates us. We have not been stimulated in such a way since the 1960s. This questioning of government allows us to be open-minded individuals, allowing us to try to make the world anew in our vision. The reassessment of government, culture, and society, it's the catalyst of change that's been rippled all across the world. The real world is only 5 years away, and it's not a dim place. It's a frontier. And we just so happen to be the pioneers in it. You see, we have the character to take it on. We were born into technological advances, raised in the shadow of 9/11, grew up in the Great Recession, and are now young adults in the time of some of the worst political turmoil our country has seen since the Civil War. So, with that being said, I feel college is a time for learning, so please use your education. It's not career development. Don't let that internship in the city distract you from this exciting time period of growth. The soil has never been so fertile for the trees of success. All you have to do is plant the seeds. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tony Cabral, and this has been my Marist Talk. Thank you.
How you guys doing? My name is Randy Paul, and I have a big issue within myself. I'm first generation Haitian American, so I don't feel like I'm Haitian, and I don't feel like I'm American, because I was raised from immigrants. So when I was in high school, I said to myself, what am I going to do to start change in my world and inspire others? So in high school, I went to my principals and I said, I need your help. I need some type of funding to go back to Haiti where my parents are from, because I have to give back in some type of way. So when I was 17 years old, they gave me $1,000, I went to Haiti, and I was able to feed over 700 people during this basketball game that I started. And then I was able to give away about 50 backpacks filled with school supplies. So when I graduated high school and I was playing football, I said to myself, there's something more that I should do. I should use my platform in a certain type of way. So I brought together my friends and I created something called the Jiggy Crew. The Jiggy Crew is something that I can inspire little kids to look up to. I'm that person that people want to be. Because I'm from a place, Long Island, it's very segregated. I'm around a bunch of urban type of people, but I'm around a lot of wealthy folks. So if I play my cards right, I could be very successful. But if I fail, I could end up just like the people in my neighborhood. So when I got to Marist, I said to myself, there's ways that I can use social media and me playing football to my advantage. So what I did was, I sat and I thought of ways of creating clothes that I would want to wear and what people like me would want to wear. So I created that. Me and my business partner sat down, we started a GoFundMe, and I was able to raise $5,000, and I was able to give out over 100 backpacks. And I was able to give out a bunch of school supplies. So I'm gonna show a video about my trip to Haiti. father, he's my biggest inspiration. My father came here in the 80s with only $2,000 in his pocket. And he made the decision to give up everything he knew in Haiti, and he came up by himself. He left my older brother at 10 months and my mother to go try to create his mark. So when I was thinking of this Haiti trip, all I thought about was I couldn't do this without going through him. Because when I went to Haiti, people think of Haiti as a very difficult and dangerous place, but where my father's from, I could walk the streets at night with my business partner and it's not a problem. So my company, our message is to innovate and inspire. Whatever you do, if you don't leave your mark and you change at least one person's world, I don't think you've done anything. Because I can acquire as much wealth as I want to plan to do, but every single time I feel like if I go to Haiti, I have to do the event bigger and better. So this little guy right here inspires me as well. His name is Nathan. And all he wanted was a backpack. He didn't care about anything else because he needed to put his school supplies in something. So I gave him that backpack. And he just loved it. He posted a camera for my boy Marcos. And I'll never forget him. That's why I asked Marcos to take a picture of him. And my motto for that picture was inspire or retire. Do something to change at least one person's world. And this is my team, my business partners all the way to the left, two of my friends, my father and myself. And we just went out there, and I don't think I did that much yet, but that event right there, I know I changed at least one person's world. So that's my message for today. Whatever you do in this world, at least try to change one person's world. That's it.
I grew up surrounded by my 5 male cousins, which, yes, was just as fun as you would imagine it to be. Growing up, it was nothing but Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, basketball, Legos, and video games all day, every day. But despite being into the same exact things that they were into, I was still deemed to be the girl. I was shut out of exclusive all-boy meetings. I was shunned if I dared to even look at the girlier things and like them. And on more than one occasion, I was denied to even touch the PS2 controller because girls aren't good at video games anyways, right? But my mother always kindly reminded them, be nice to Samantha. Even though she's a girl, she is more than capable of doing anything that you can do. That's bullshit though, because I knew I could do it better, and 7-year-old me kicked their asses at Mortal Kombat. This sentiment though, one coming from a place of genuine compassion and a message of equality, is telling of a deeper issue. As a young girl, I always felt as if I had something that I needed to prove. I had to prove that I could be as capable as the boys. And it's something that I've held on to for a really long time. This is a phenomenon that I've come to know as one of disingenuous diversity. In our society's noble pursuit to promote diversity, we've taken amazing strides towards our recognition of people of all backgrounds, which is a phenomenal thing. However, at the same time, we've started to become blind to our differences in the name of equality. Our consistent emphasis on everyone being the same is disingenuous at heart. By ignoring our differences, whether it be in religion, gender, sex, or race, we are ignoring a vital part of our society, which has far deeper implications than we initially think. So tonight, I'm going to start addressing the difficult questions that we all want to ignore. I'm going to address what really makes us different. Because young Samantha doesn't just want to be capable of being like her boy cousins. She wants to be capable of being her. By not acknowledging someone's identity and not acknowledging that we may not all go through the same struggles and adversities, we stagnate our own social progress in the name of diversity disingenuously. Have you ever heard of the phrase colorblind? You know, that one person who just insists they don't see color? I don't see color, I don't see race. To me, you are just a person. Which, by the way, is the biggest Caucasian lie I have ever heard. Oftentimes, in an effort to promote acceptance, we remove the cause of unacceptance or intolerance altogether. We remove the difference. For example, picture this. Let's say someday, far in the future, when all of this is over and finals are long gone, you're married, and you have a job and a kid, and they're old enough to be sent off to preschool. But they come home and they say to you, "Mommy, Daddy, I was at school today and I met a boy, and his skin was a lot darker than mine. Why doesn't he look like me?" Of course, you well-meaningly tell him, "Don't worry, he's exactly like you are. We're all the same on the inside." Let's take our example of colorblindness and expand it a bit past race. Colorblindness doesn't just apply to the color of our skin. It can be any aspect of someone that is different than the societal norm, some aspect of somebody that we've tried to close our eyes to. We're inherently taught from a young age that if someone isn't your race, if someone isn't your gender, if someone doesn't practice the same religion as you, just pretend that they do, and acceptance will be so much easier. Needless to say, this kind of thinking has problematic implications. We all worship the same God, or I don't see color, or women are just as capable as men, all send the same message. There's no need for us to fight because we're all the same. But this seems to imply that if we weren't the same, which we aren't, intolerance would be acceptable. By viewing everyone as the same, we are essentially saying that we only view people as equal if they are the same as us. Thinking seemingly follows that if there was any difference, then viewing people as unequal is justified. Furthermore, by ignoring these differences, we ignore vital parts of who people really are. A unique part about me is that I'm a girl. I am not just someone who is capable of doing what a guy can do. A person of color is not a reskinned version of a white person. A Hindu is not practicing the same religion as a Christian. By ignoring people's identities, we ignore key parts of who they really are. But more than that, we ignore key parts of who they really are in our world today. It's no secret that everyone in our society is subject to adversities and struggles, but even more than that, we know that some are more than others. But with our blinders up, we can't see these struggles or even begin to acknowledge that they exist. According to a psychology professor at Ohio State University who conducted a study, Philip Mazzocco, 73% of Americans operate under this catch-all idea of color blindness. But this same study shows that 49% of these people are less likely to even acknowledge that social injustices exist, and 7% of these people are more likely to be prejudiced without even knowing it, despite being colorblind, despite everyone being all the same. With so many people claiming not to see such blatantly obvious differences between people, how can we have conversations about our most important issues? How can we have conversations about racism, sexism, homophobia, and transphobia, or a plethora of other social injustices if we can't even acknowledge that these differences exist? Saying, I don't see color, or I see people, not race, not gender, not sexuality, is not a conversation starter. It is a conversation ender. It stops the conversation about real issues before they can even start. There are real struggles in this world, And if we pretend differences don't exist, we put people who are struggling at a real disadvantage. So, what's our solution? Rather than promoting a colorblind acceptance of all people, we need to take a look around us and embrace the diversity. Rather than simply saying, we're all the same on the inside, we should work towards a type of multiculturalism in every facet of our lives. We need to build a society that not only tolerates differences, but embraces them. We need to acknowledge the different races and genders and sexualities in the room and look at these people and say, I see you, and I accept you, and I want to make an effort to understand who you are and what makes you, you. Because promoting colorblindness is easy, but this is 2018. It's not time to keep our social progress in the realm of being easy. Colorblindness eliminates the need to recognize and discuss extremely uncomfortable realities. So, instead of my cousins saying, Samantha's a girl, but she can kick my ass at Mortal Kombat, instead they can say, Samantha is a girl and she can kick my ass in Mortal Kombat. Be brave. Have the tough conversations. Acknowledging differences isn't intolerance. It's the exact opposite. So let's embrace diversity genuinely. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Gary Coltrane, and I am an indirect product of mass incarceration. Indirect product, what does that mean? I'm gonna take you all on the story back before I was born, decades ago. There was a man. Unfortunately, he was shooting dice. Came into an argument. Yo! You wildin'. Boom, boom! Someone got shot. Someone died. Someone didn't end up in prison. Someone ended up in the military. Someone ended up in the military, learned different skills, eventually went to college. Became a computer science major, graduated from Indiana University. Years later on, he gets released from the military, starts his career at IBM as a programmer. That person is my cousin. He was my mentor. He was an individual who helped me out, who was my father figure. I didn't have no one teaching me. He taught me how to defend myself. Yo, Gary, yo, someone come at you, and you got a bat, hit him in the knee, so you hit him in the face. Boom. He was someone who supported me a lot. Now, what does that tie? What does that mean? Well, I'm gonna explain to you how mass incarceration affects my community. First things first, I'm from zip code 10456. That zip code represents a third of New York State's inmate population. Second thing, I went to Eagle Academy for Young Men, a high school that was designated to help end the school to prison pipeline. So for the most part, I've been tuned in towards prison for most of my life. I've been hearing different stories about people who's been locked up. Me personally, I've never been incarcerated, but I was close to being incarcerated when I was in the year 2011 when I was 13 years old. Unfortunately, I had the sole charges dropped. Now I want to talk about Daystra and how this came about. So in the summer of 2018, after a hot, long day at JP Morgan Chase, I ran into a friend of mine. He was like, Gary, help me get a job. I'm looking at my phone, Indeed, Monster, felony-friendly jobs that hire felons. I couldn't find not central resource for him. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna build it. So I started Daystra.com, a website, a tech startup that helps formerly incarcerated individuals reenter to society. What does reentry mean? How does that work? First, we want to help them get jobs that hire formerly incarcerated individuals and help them acclimate to society. Now, why hire someone that's been in prison? Why should I hire someone that was locked up? Why should I hire someone that made a bad decision? Well, incarceration can happen to all of you. Some of you have fake IDs. That's a Class C felony in New York State. Incarceration can happen to anybody, whether you drive drunk, whether you make the wrong decision that one night, whether you use too many drugs. So I started a Daystra platform, and I created the whole application, and I wanted more out of it. I wanted to bring this worldwide. I wanted to bring this to help my community, my neighborhood, and people that I know. So I contacted many different individuals, whether it be mentors or people who've been in prison. Now, furthermore, with Day Strive, we started actually reaching out to family-friendly companies. We started talking to different founders and different tech entrepreneurs. As of right now, we have a partnership with a big company that's helping people get jobs. Has anyone here heard of ZipRecruiter? They're currently a partner of Day Strive. Has anyone heard of venture capitalists? They're currently looking at Day Strive. So what we aim to do is end mass incarceration. Now, let's go back to the question, why should you hire a felon? Well, first things first, as of right now, keeping people incarcerated out of jobs is currently harming the US economy. The US is losing $87 billion in GDP by not having formerly incarcerated individuals in the workforce. It costs the US $31,000 per inmate to keep someone incarcerated. There are 73.5 million people who have a felony record in the United States today. We're not talking about the UK, we're not talking about South Africa, we're talking about the United States. The United States is a prison country. Whether you like it or not, there are a lot of people behind bars, and we need to help them acclimate to society. So that's what Day Strive aims to do. We first want to help people get jobs. First want to help people, they want to help people actually get housing. We also want to help people succeed in the corporate world, succeed in the individual endeavors, and succeed within their own ventures. And that's what it means to me. So going back to the individual that was in my high school who actually gave me the idea that Day Strive started, I saw a vision in him. I saw skills, I saw mentorship, I saw success. No one else did. Everyone's forgetting about these individuals that's locked behind these bars. America's untapped talent is within the prison system, and we aim to support that system. If you all are looking forward to helping out, please follow our Instagram at Day Strive Platform. We're launching our application January 2019. My co-founder and I are setting up partnerships, talking to venture capitalists. We're looking to raise about $950,000 for our seed round to get started. We aim to double that by revenue within 6 months. Thank you all. Have a good night.